Welcome to Australia, a place that is truly unique to anywhere else in the world, a place where the most amazing wildlife roams free and the beautifully raw landscape leaves you breathless. Today we'll be going to one of my favorite places on Wilson's Prom called Squeaky Beach, a wonderfully refreshing place for our beginner's yoga flow this morning. We're going to stretch, twist, and flow out all of the kinks and knots that may have built up overnight. You won't need any props or equipment other than your yoga mat for this practice, but having blocks nearby is always a good idea, just in case you'll want some extra support. Remember to breathe with each movement, inhaling and exhaling, keeping your mind focused and yet relaxed. And if you'd like to know why it's called Squeaky Beach, make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video. And now, let's step onto the mat. Let's get started seated on our heels in the center of the mat. Reach up and stretch up. Give yourself a nice big stretch like you just got out of bed. Maybe stretching from one side to the other, and release down, resting the hands on your lap. Just taking a deep breath in and release it out, relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Just taking a moment to settle in, to relax, and prepare yourself for this morning practice. Maybe setting an intention. What is it you would like to bring and come away with after this practice? And now let's reach the hands up to the sky, stretching up. And let's place the left palm on the mat, reaching up and over with your right arm, stretching out the right side body. Inhale, switching sides, right palm to the mat, left arm reaching up and over, breathing deeply. You can look down at the mat if your neck gets tired. And on your next inhale, let's come up to center and turning sideways on the mat, tucking the toes, and coming back onto your heels, getting a nice toe stretch. Maybe feeling your feet protest against this. They're not used to this, are they? Let's roll out the neck, slowly moving from side to side, making a big circle with the top of your head, bringing your chin down and up as you roll your head back, moving to the other side now. Beautiful. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Hands can rest on your lap. And now let's come forward, release those toes, give them a break, and sitting down onto the heels. And slowly begin to turn to the left side of the mat, looking back behind you, over your left shoulder, smiling into the stretch. And twisting to the opposite side, right fingertips behind you, left hand on the right knee. Being tall. Imagine someone is pulling you up from a string attached to the top of your head. And back to center. Let's come into all fours and slowly release back into child's pose. So sitting down onto your heels, hands are reaching forward. Your forehead can rest on the mat or keep it hovering. Whatever feels good right now, that's what you need to do. Let your body guide you and tell you what it needs. Slowly moving forward, coming forward with your hips, arching the back as you look up and rounding down. Coming forward, dropping the hips, arching the back, and coming back, leading with your hip bones down to your heels. Moving with your breath, inhaling as you come forward exhaling as you come back. Wonderful. Now as we come back, let's tuck the toes. Slowly begin to lift the knees off of the mat, hovering them, extending them as much as you can, or keeping them bent, or even walking out the knees. Your heels do not need to touch the mat. What's really important is that your back is straight, that you're pressing into the mat with your palms. And now let's slowly come forward into plank and drop the knees, then the chest, the chin, the belly, scooching forward and lifting up through the chest. Release the chest back down. This time lifting the knees off of the mat, pressing into the hands, or just leave the knees on the mat. And bringing the knees down again, tucking the toes, sitting back into an active child's pose, lifting up onto the fingers maybe for a nice shoulder stretch. Forehead on the mat. Let's drop the palms, press into the mat, lift the knees up into downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, reaching the toes up to the sky. Bend the knee and step the foot between the hands. Coming up to low lunge. Your left toes can stay tucked or you can release them. Your hands can stay down on the mat or maybe place them on your knees or reach them up to the sky, whatever feels good for you. Balancing on your right foot and your left knee, allowing your hips to sink forward. And bringing the hands back down to the mat, let's slowly shift the hips back, straightening the right leg, and maybe staying here or beginning to fold over that right leg if your flexibility allows. So the point is not touching the nose to the shin. You want to try and get your belly over top of your thigh. Now let's come forward again into our lunge. Tuck the back toes and lift the knee, and then shift your weight forward into your right foot and step the left foot forward into forward fold. Or you can slowly hop that back foot forward a few steps and then step it to the front of the mat. So let's find our forward fold, bending into the knees, allowing the hands to relax onto the mat, bringing your belly over top of your thighs, grabbing your elbows, and just swinging from side to side, trying to not let anything disturb you. So relaxing into this ragdoll position, allowing your head to be very loose, letting your cervical spine decompress, stretching into the backs of the legs, and slowly lift up halfway, straightening your back, hands on the knees or on the thighs. Inhale, and as you exhale, slowly bend into your forward fold, coming down maybe a little bit further, or straightening the legs a little bit more. Let's slowly bend the knees and roll up, coming into standing, reaching the hands up to the sky, and releasing them down, opening the palms forward, and just finding a strong mountain pose. Pressing into the mat with every part of your feet. Maybe shifting back and forth so you can feel your weight in your toes and your heels. Lifting through the arches in your feet. And now let's reach up to the sky and then slowly swan dive forward, down into your forward fold, lift halfway, and then bend the knees, hands on the mat, Slowly walk your right foot back a few steps, or just step it back in one big step. Bringing the knee down to the mat, releasing your toes or keeping the toes tucked. Finding our low lunge. Hips are releasing forward down toward the mat. Your gaze is forward. Your hands can lift up to the sky or come onto your left knee. Really try to sink into this pose, feeling your hip flexor opening up in your right hip. And hands come down to the mat. Let's shift the weight back onto that right knee, straightening the left leg. Your hands are on the mat on either side of your left leg, maybe on top of some blocks or books, anything to give you some lift. And then slowly begin to fold over your left leg, or just staying up. It doesn't matter how far you come down, what matters is how much you feel this stretch in your left hamstring. Flexing your left foot, keeping your back as straight as possible, relaxing into your pose. And coming forward into low lunge, let's lift the back knee. Either step the foot forward in one step or take a few hopping steps. Finding forward fold. Allowing yourself to fold over your legs. Maybe rocking back and forth. And bend the knees and slowly roll up to Tadasana. Hands reach up to the sky, big stretch. Fingers interlace as you arch the back slightly, looking back behind you, and release down. Beautiful stretch. Again, taking a moment with your palms facing forward, open, strong mountain pose. Feeling your body warmed up, alive, awakened, ready for a beautiful day. Let's reach up to the sky again, swan dive down, forward fold, and then slowly bending into the knees, sitting down, squatting down onto the mat. Let's bring the hands behind you. Your left knee is bent, bringing it closer to your chest with your hands. Right leg is extended out in front of you with the foot flexed. And opening your left knee out to the side, bringing your left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Let's reach the arms up to the sky and begin to fold over that right leg. Again, folding from your hips, keeping your back as straight as possible. There will be some curvature in the spine, but try to keep it straight. Continuing to breathe, inviting relaxation in this pose. Let's slowly lift up, coming back to center. Lift the left knee. Twisting to the left side, bring your right arm over your knee. Left hand behind you on the mat, looking over that left shoulder. And back to center, twisting the opposite direction. Left arm on the other side of your left knee. Right fingertips on the mat behind you. Great job. Let's come back to center. Now we're going to take our left peace fingers, grab onto the toe, and extend the leg out. But you can just keep that left knee bent into your chest if this extension is too much for you. So both legs are extended, or just the right leg with the left knee bent into your chest. And the idea is to get a nice hamstring stretch in that left leg. Now let's bend the right knee, place the foot on the mat, still holding on to the left toes, as we slowly release them down to the mat. And now our right knee is bent into the chest. Let's open it up a little bit to the side, letting the knee fall to the right side, reaching with the left hand toward the left foot. You can take this stretch a bit further by reaching up to the sky with the right arm, We're reaching up and over your head toward the left toes. Now let's come up, bring the right knee in, square off the hips toward the front of the mat, bend the left knee again, and now let's extend the right leg up to the sky, grabbing onto the toe with the peace fingers or grabbing onto the ankle, keeping the knee bent if you need to into the chest. Left leg is extended out in front of you with the foot flexed, and then bending that right knee, bringing it closer to your chest, placing the foot on the mat. Let's bring the left arm to the outside of your right knee. Right hand is on the mat behind you, opening and twisting to the right side. Looking behind you, keeping the spine long, and then twisting to the opposite side. Right arm on the inside of the right knee this time. Left hand on the mat. Looking back behind you. And on your next exhale, let's come back to center. Extend that right leg out in front of you, bend the left knee, bring that left foot to the inside of the right leg, open the knee out, reach for the right ankle with the right hand, and maybe reaching up to the sky with the left arm, or up and over toward your right toes. Let's come back to center, extending both legs out in front of you. Place your hands behind you on the mat and lift up with the hips toward the sky. Or you can plant your feet on the mat and find a reverse tabletop instead, whichever version you prefer. In both of them, we're squeezing the glutes, lifting the hip bones up to the sky, and then releasing down, coming to seated in the middle of the mat, or just as you are. Let's close the eyes, hands on the knees, and slowly roll the shoulders back, reaching up to the sky, and folding over your legs that are crossed in front of you, reaching to opposite sides of the mat. You can make a little tent with your hands coming up onto the fingertips, sinking toward the mat, melting into this hip opening posture. And slowly begin to bring your hands onto your knees and lift up. Your head comes up last, your eyes are still closed. Your hands are resting in your lap. Taking a moment to check in. Notice how you're feeling. Notice how your body's feeling. Taking a deep breath in and exhale, bringing your hands to your heart. Thank you so much for joining me on Squeaky Beach for this beginner beach yoga class. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.